I'm Michael Musto, and you're watching The Barry Z Show.
Hi, it's Barry Z from The Barry Z Show with my special co-host, celebrity gossip columnist Michael Musto. Michael, what's going on?
Barry, I feel you in the room. I feel your presence. It's like a seance.
I am.
Oh, I have so much going on, Barry. First of all, I'm on Cocktails and Classics. That's the logo show that I'm on, starring Michael Urie. And the new season is on. It's the 4th season. This is like a movie party show, which is perfect for me because I have a movie club in real life. And we get together, we show classic movies. In the past, we've done Valley of the Dolls, Mommy Dearest, Baby Jane. This season, we have Showgirls, Hairspray. Oh my God, so many great movies. Sister Act 1 and 2. And the season is every Sunday at 8 p.m. on Logo. And I'm on 5 out of the 8 episodes. And really tune in. Watch it by yourself or with your friends. It becomes a big party, and we want all of America to join in and join the party.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to be there.
Great. You have a TV?
Yes, I do.
Barry, I'm also in a movie called Vamp Bikers Tress. It's the third part of a trilogy, like the Godfather trilogy or Lord of the Rings, but this is much better. And I play Hedda Hopper, and I think I get it right. I don't think Judy Davis quite got Hedda Hopper right in Feud. Have you been watching Feud?
Yes, I have. Are you in drag for this?
I'm in sort of a semi-drag in certain scenes, but I'm male, but in a kind of Tim Curry Rocky Horror Show way. And I'm not really Hedda Hopper. I'm some kind of vampire lunatic who runs a hospital. It keeps changing with every scene. It's total lunacy. I don't even understand it, but that's the genius of it.
Am I going to drop in a clip from this?
Let's show, Barry, yeah, why don't we show the trailer from this movie, Vamp Bikers Tress. Here's the trailer.
Oh, that's great. Why don't we do it right now?
Yes. Witches laid a curse on my friend. Well, now the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Witches gotta fight zombies. 'Cause we like blood. Young blood. Damn vamps don't got any.
And fight the devil!
Shut the fuck up, whore!
That shit's so.
Well, looky here. Is that Betty White or Doris Day? I mean Doris Day today. I'm like Andy Kaufman. I love beating bitches' asses. Body slam time.
You're gonna be foaming at the ass for messing with me.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Boner in the ass. Fuck her up!
It's a good day to die!
Save the critique for after the film, Hedda.
Of course, darling. Ahead of myself.
Now you die! Let's see a war!
Wasn't that fun, Barry? It's a really fun movie, and it's on the verge of getting big distribution. I've been to already like 5 premieres for this thing. And Barry, remember last time I was on and we played my single? I have a new single on Trax Records called I Got You Back. Remember that, Barry? Because I don't.
Yes, I do.
So I don't know if you want to play that again. That's a really fun song produced by Tyler Stone for Trax Records. It's called I Got You Back. And it has a kind
Okay,
of...
we'll play that also.
Yeah, let's hear I Got You Back by Michael Musto.
Hey, baby.
Even if it's late, you can text me at 2. I'm there for you. When it's late and you're lost and you don't know what you're gonna do, I'm there for you, I'm there for you. Even when the deadlines start to stack, you should know, 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 you should know that I got your back, yeah, I got your back, yeah. I got your back, yeah, I got your back, yeah. If I have to pay a toll to get through, I'm there for you. Take a train and a bike and a taxi and an Uber too. I'm there for you, I'm there for you. And until your life gets back on track, back on track, back on track, you should know, 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 you should know that I got your back, yeah, I got your back, yeah. I got your back, yeah, I got your back, yeah.
Let's talk about what's going on this week.
Oh,
You're going to be on Kelly Ripa, aren't you?
on her face, yes. I'm pushing Mark Consuelos right off of it. No, I'm not. I wish I'm not on anything.
She still doesn't have a permanent co-host.
Is that right? I would be great. Why don't they get Anderson Cooper? He's a good friend of hers, and he'd be terrific.
So it'll be 3 of you then.
They haven't asked me, Barry, but I'm going to just show up on the set.
Show up. You watch the show, don't you?
I want to be on The View, and I just had dinner with Whoopi Goldberg the other night. It was an event for SAGE, which is for older gays. You might want to look into that, Barry. But
that's good.
Whoopi promotes...
That includes me. No, that doesn't include me.
No, you're not gay. But Whoopi
I'm
was
not old.
Whoopi was really nice, and she told me, which I didn't realize, she grew up poor. Her mother used to just buy bok choy by the gross and just boil it all day. Poor Whoopi. No wonder she appreciated.
Did she also live in the projects in Chelsea?
I'm not sure where she grew up, but she said she didn't go to high school or college, so she was thrilled when Harvard gave her the Hasty Pudding Award for Woman of the Year because she felt all these smart people are honoring her.
Well, I'm watching it for her. Whoopi's my friend. And I'm also watching it for my other friend, Joy Behar, who used to pour... One more time.
Just go again. Action.
Yeah, I'm watching it for my friend, Whoopi Goldberg, and I'm also watching it for my other friend, who used to appear in my comedy club all the time, Joy Behar.
She's a paisan. Everyone thinks she's Jewish, but she's Italian like me. And you know what?
She is.
Somebody put on
They're
Facebook.
getting all along there and discussing Trump.
Let's
My poor Trump. What are they doing to my poor Trump?
Well, speaking of Joy Behar, somebody put on Facebook that the Bible says we should not rejoice when somebody that we don't like fails, meaning Trump's healthcare bill. And Joy Behar wrote bullshit. So I love Joy Behar. Because, of course, we should rip up the Bible and just rejoice that he has failed miserably with this healthcare thing. Nobody wanted it. The Democrats, the conservatives, the moderates, nobody wanted it. He wants to take healthcare away.
They wanted it because they want to keep Obamacare.
Well, that has problems, but it's better than what they came up with, which is to take healthcare away from millions of people, to limit what healthcare might cover. It's an atrocity, Barry, and I'm glad it went down. And, of course, Trump is claiming it to be a victory, claiming he never said that it was going to be changed immediately, which of course he did, and also blaming the Democrats. And that's like blaming the Allies for the end of World War II. It's like, thank you, duh, yeah, we did it. We didn't like your plan.
What's going to happen with this? Is he going to resign?
He will never resign. His ego is too big. He's going to have to be impeached. And I actually see that coming because he's under investigation now for his alleged ties to Russia. And if they find anything, he's out of there. But then we have President Pence, who's another nightmare, but at least he's not as crazy with his finger on the trigger with international politics.
It's unbelievable what's going down.
I think we have to impeach like 14 people in a row before we get to somebody decent. Paul Ryan's another horror. They're all horrible, and they deserve the mess that they've made, but we don't deserve
What
it.
about the former vice president? He wants to be president.
Which one? We have
You
a
know, who's
Joe
his
Biden.
name?
Joe Biden.
No, I'm sorry. Who's his name?
Joe
What's his
Biden?
name? I can't think of his name.
Joe Biden.
What about Joe Biden? He's looking to run for president.
Well, the job isn't open right now, Barry. We have 3-point-something years left of Trump, and even if he's impeached, then it'll be Pence. So I don't think Joe Biden's really running at the moment. Sophia Petrillo has a better chance.
And what's going on with their apartment that they just took in Washington?
Well, that'll be nice. They'll be living in the same building, but not the same bed, but same building at least. I hope our tax money doesn't have to pay for her shelter anymore.
Unbelievable. Why don't they leave poor Trump alone?
Oh, yeah, and leave Britney alone.
Yeah, but what else is going on this week?
Well, April 2nd, I have, remember we just played my single. I'm singing it live at Trax Records Party at the Acme Hotel on April 2nd, and I'm singing to a backup track, but I'm not like Mariah Carey. If the backup track doesn't work, I'm still going to keep singing. And also, Barry, on May
You're going
20th,
to be a superstar.
I hope so. And on May 22nd, and thank you for helping me achieve my goal all these years, Barry. You've been a big part of my success. May 22nd, they're doing a big celebrity roast of me at Actors Temple, and it's a benefit for Callan Lord. Rosie O'Donnell's going to kick off the evening. Bruce Valanche has agreed to host the evening. And people are going to rip me a new one. The roasters include Bianca Del Rio, Jinx Monsoon, Michael Urie, Michael Riedel, Countess Luann, Orfe, Frankie Grande, Doug Wright. Amazing people.
Can I be there to cover it?
If you pay. It's a benefit.
Yes, I can.
Yes, if you pay, it's a benefit, and tickets are open to the public, and you technically are part of the public.
So I have to pay for this then.
Well, I might buy you a ticket. I'll see if you're nice.
Thank you. We got to make you more famous than you are.
That should be pretty easy, because I'm not very famous. But no, Barry, there's so much going on in my life.
Tell me, what else is going
Oh,
on?
well, I just started reading Barbara Cook's memoir. It should be called Cookbook, but it's not. She talks about working with Elaine Stritch. Remember her, Barry? Did you ever interview Elaine Stritch?
Yes, I did. When she was alive.
Normally you get them after they're alive, but in this case too. But Barbara does not have flattering things to say about Elaine. She does say can be charming. She's extremely talented. May she rest. But she says she was a nightmare to work with, and I have to second that because I did one of her last interviews. It was live on stage at the 92nd Street Y. Elaine arrived in a wheelchair screaming about the elevator ride. She was nasty to me when I started the Q&A on stage. She cut me down and said, "You're not going to have the first thing to say." And I was like, this woman should not be out in public, and they're overworking her. And sure enough, she died not that long afterwards, and she was a legend. She was so amazing.
I interviewed her somewhere before that at a play that she was in at the Paper Mill Playhouse.
Full Monty.
Some time ago, and she told me that she had diabetes and she had to go for her shot. She had to break the interview and go for her shot in the bathroom.
Yeah, she was in Full Monty at Paper Mill. She played the old lady, the Kathleen Freeman role. And Barbara Cook actually writes about one time when Barbara was performing at a nightclub. Elaine was in the front row, and in the middle of Barbara's quiet ballad, which had the whole crowd wrapped, Elaine took out her insulin needle and gave herself an insulin injection just to make the whole thing about herself. And Barbara writes, she couldn't wait 3 minutes. That's just the way she was. It was all me, me, me. And everyone else in showbiz wanted to be about them. That's why they didn't like her. She was stealing too much spotlight.
She was in my favorite movie. What was that movie with Sal Mineo?
Who Killed Teddy Bear?
Who Killed Teddy Bear? I love that movie.
It's a great movie. It's a black and white movie. It's set in the old Times Square, so you see scenes of old New York. Sal Mineo plays a pervy guy who makes crank calls, and he strangles people with ladies' stockings, and he strangles Elaine Stritch because she made a pass at Juliet Prowse. Elaine is like
Juliet Prowse was in that.
Yeah, Juliet, I think, is like the DJ, and Elaine is the nightclub entrepreneur, and she makes a lesbian predatory pass at Juliet, which is spurned. And of course, predatory lesbians had to die in the 1960s, so Sal Mineo kills Elaine Stritch. I love that movie. I interviewed her about that as well.
Yeah, so did I, and we're the few who have interviewed her about that movie.
Yes. And Barry, speaking of books, Amanda Lepore has a book coming out in April. You know Amanda, she's a transgender icon.
Yes.
She looks like a inflatable Barbie doll based on Marilyn Monroe. She's all lips and titties and everything. And she has a vagina.
You mentioned in the book.
I better be. But she writes about her dates with celebrities, and she doesn't name names, but she says there was a black rapper who went on to marry a woman who has the same body type as I do. So you figure it out, Barry. That's pretty easy.
Who is it?
Kanye West.
Wow.
Because Kim Kardashian is like...
What's happening with our friends, the Trump people? Are they doing any more performances or any interviews with anybody? Or tell me about your other new book coming out.
There's a book by Bob Hoffler, who's a famous theater critic for The Wrap, and it's about Dominic Dunn. Remember him, the crime reporter? He wrote for Vanity Fair. He was on all kinds of TV channels. He was the quintessential reporter about like the Menendez brothers and the OJ trial and things like that. And of course he was gay. He was married to a woman, he has kids, but he was gay. Or maybe we can say bisexual. But the book delves into his personal life. The love of his life was a guy named Frederick Combs, who was in Boys in the Band, which Dominic Dunn produced. That was the gay play in the 60s and movie. And Dominic was also obsessed and in love with Eric Menendez, one of the Menendez brothers. I don't think Eric put out, but apparently Eric did put out for other people in prison. It's a really juicy read.
What happened to Menendez brothers? Are they still available?
They are.
Interviews?
They're available for sex in jail. They'll gladly be your bitch if you give them a cigarette.
Have you ever met the Menendez brothers?
Yes, I went to visit them in jail. I gave them a cigarette, and they became my bitch. No, I never had the displeasure, really, honestly. But they lied on trial. They're disgusting people. They killed their father.
They killed their father. What about their mother?
Oh, she probably helped.
Unbelievable.
But Barry, there's so many great books coming out, and let's talk about drag queens, because I judged the Miss Barracuda pageant at Barracuda, which is the long-running Chelsea hangout. And by the way, G Lounge is going to reopen as a gay place. Remember G Lounge in Chelsea?
Oh yeah, what happened to it?
It closed last year, and everyone said, "Oh, it's all over for the gays in Chelsea." It's reopening, and also I hear Eastern Bloc is going to change hands or have some new owners. But anyway, at Barracuda, it was me, Bianca Del Rio, who is not in drag, and Crystal Demure, who's fabulous. She stars in Kinky Boots on Broadway right now. And we judged Miss Barracuda, and the winner was Sherry Pie. And Tina Burner was the host, and she was going off on Paige Turner, who's another drag queen with a pageant, which is So You Think You Can Drag. And they apparently don't care for each other. I don't like bitchiness amongst drag queens. I like them all to get along. Peppermint is one of the nicest drag queens. Have you ever met Peppermint?
Yes, I do.
And she's on Drag Race this year, so everyone feels good about that. She's like good people.
Talking about Drag Race, it switched to VH1. What happened?
Well, my guess is they figured the show is such a hit, move it to an even bigger channel. It'll get more viewers. And it's great. It's all growth for everyone, and Logo's still doing great. I'm happy to be on Logo.
The Logo is still doing well, thanks to Michael Musto. Are they adding any new shows to the programs?
Yes, they recently added a show about Fire Island, a reality show produced by Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelo, and people are really buzzing a lot about that. Saturday Night Live did a spoof of it, which you know you've arrived when they make fun of you on SNL. In fact, in the 90s, when I was on the Gossip Show on E!, SNL did 2 sketches spoofing that, and Mark McKinney played me. I was thrilled. It's like, please, tear me a new one. That's why I'm having this roast. If people make fun of you, that means they love you. That's what I learned growing up anyway.
That's true. Tell me about Mark Consuelos.
He's hot.
Is he straight, or is he bi, or is he gay, or...
Well, he was a stripper at bachelorette parties or something, but I guess he's straight and he's married to Kelly Ripa.
He was also in a gay play.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Well,
that was off
Yeah, well,
With a gay man in it.
people act all kinds of roles. It doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. They can play gay roles if they get paid for it, right?
It's a part, you know. Leonardo DiCaprio wasn't really on the Titanic. But things are getting much more literal on Broadway now. Like in Glass Menagerie, Laura, who's supposed to have some crippling thing and she's shy, they have her played by a real disabled actress in a wheelchair. So,
Tell me about Broadway now.
and nowadays I think Meryl Streep wouldn't get a part because, like, you're not really Sophie. You weren't really in the Holocaust. We don't have to be so literal anymore. But Miss
You
Saigon,
have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory coming to Broadway.
yes.
Tell me about Broadway these days. You have that new play coming to Broadway, the one about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is supposed to be incredible, right?
That's a musical. Yeah, and they wrote a new score. They're not using the score from the movie. And also, we have Groundhog Day, which is based on the movie, which was a great film with Bill Murray. And this is with Andy Carl. And
It didn't get good reviews or good previews.
Groundhog Day got great reviews in London. And then the big hit of the year, which you have to like mortgage your children to even get a ticket in the balcony, is Hello Dolly with Bette Midler. It sold out immediately.
Donna Moore is in it. No, Donna.
Well, Donna Murphy. No, every Tuesday night, Donna Murphy plays Hello Dolly to give Bette Midler a night off.
We got to watch it for her.
I like to see both. They're both great.
Although they said they were going to get Carol Channing to play matinees.
She's just gonna usher. No, Carol's not up to it. Carol's not up to
Word of
it.
mouth. It's just word of mouth.
I just hope this doesn't kill Carol.
What about the other plays on Broadway coming on?
Well,
Anything else?
Well, I just saw Miss Saigon, the revival. I thought it was fantastic. I didn't like Miss Saigon in the 90s. I thought it was cheesy, but I kind of got into it this time. Then again, I like Cats this time, too, so I'm just getting old.
I saw Cats. It was excellent.
I'm allergic. But we have 6 Degrees of Separation. That's a revival coming with Allison Janney, who's always great. We have Little Foxes with Laura Linney. There's so much coming, Barry. Oslo, Indecent.
Yeah, Thing 2 coming, right?
We have War Paint, which is about 2 bitches, Patti LuPone and Christine Ebersole. I mean, they play the bitches. And that's fun. There's a lot of stuff for the gays.
We have Anastasia.
We have Anastasia. And we have Bandstand, which is with Laura Osnes.
Where are they getting the money for this?
These people, they do Kickstarters and GoFundMe campaigns, and people give money, and they never see a dime again.
It's unbelievable.
I won't invest. I should have invested in Hamilton.
You invested in the Hamilton play?
I should have, or I should have invested in Macintosh 30 years ago.
What are the ticket prices for Hamilton?
Oh, they have something called premium seating,
It's not $2,500 a ticket?
which is really rip-off seating, and people will pay up to $1,000 for.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. I got free tickets.
Unbelievable.
Why don't they just
Maybe
get free
I should
tickets?
Free tickets if the press agent allows me to.
Well, for good luck with Hamilton, and good luck with Hello Dolly. I emailed the publicist for Hello Dolly just to ask for a friend of mine who wanted to buy house seats to Hello Dolly. He didn't even answer me. There are no tickets available, even for people willing to buy. It's a smash, and people are saying nice things about it.
What show would you like to see on Broadway?
Well, my 2 favorite shows are Chicago and Chorus Line. Chicago's already there. Chorus Line always comes back.
Wait a minute, Chicago's closing.
No, it's never going to close.
No, it was only until March.
Is that right?
I think March or April of this year.
I don't think so, Barry. It's going to run another 20 years.
14 years it's closing.
It's not closing, Barry.
No, it's not.
And Phantom, Lion King, those shows run forever. They're going to run another 20 years. And I always like Annie. I always like to see Annie. That's a good show.
Annie.
And I can never get enough of Gypsy. I can never get enough of Gypsy. And they revive it every 3 years, so there's no problem. You just wait, and there'll be another Gypsy. And Barbra Streisand wanted to make a movie of Gypsy, but that's not going to happen, Barry. She can't get the funding.
She's talked about it for a while now.
She's too old. She was too old when she started talking about it.
Talk about Barbra Streisand for me now.
Oh, I worship Barbra Streisand. I just don't think she's right for that part. But if she did make that movie, I would certainly go to see it, and I would even pay for it, but not premium seating. But
She hasn't done a movie in years.
No, she did The Guilt Trip with Seth Rogen a couple years ago. But Barbara is appearing at the Tribeca Film Festival in person, and I'm applying for a free ticket to see it, press ticket. She's being interviewed by Robert Rodriguez, the director, about her career.
Wow.
So that's going to be the hot ticket of the year, just to see Barbara in
But
person.
isn't she too old now to perform in movies, or still not?
No, she's not too old at all. I just think she's wrong for that part of Mama Rose. I hope she makes a million more movies. She still does great in concerts. I'm all for
What about her son?
her son.
Jason?
Yeah, he performs with her. He performed with her on the Duets tour, and he's really good.
Have you ever interviewed him?
No, I've never met Jason. I've met Elliot Gould, his father, Elliot Gould, who I love.
I interviewed Elliot Gould. He was great.
He's fantastic. What else?
And what else is going on?
Well, Barry, today I'm shooting a cameo in a movie called Nick and Nicky, and it's like a gay version of a screwball comedy or of a Thin Man kind of thing by Patrick Askin, and Sean Young is in it. You know,
Sean Young. We love Sean Young.
yeah, and she told me she liked Trump, and I was like, let me not even get into an argument here, whatever. I wonder if she still likes Trump after the horrible things he's done the last few months, but
Wow.
I just don't get it, Barry, how some people can still say Trump is okay. He's, I think, the lowest rated president probably in history as far as his approval rating.
Well, I think he got in as a joke. Don't you think? To
Yeah.
see if anybody would vote for him, and everyone did.
Exactly.
Including the Russians.
Exactly. And the joke is on us. And Bill de Blasio is one of the lowest rated mayors in New York history, but people think he might get reelected anyway because there's nobody else.
Unbelievable. What happened to Christine Quinn?
Oh, remember she was the front runner last time, and then I forget what happened, but she just fell through a trap door, never to be heard from again.
Who would you like to see run for office?
I'd love to see Rosie O'Donnell.
Really? Her brother is already, got a position in office.
Exactly, and I think she's got her head on straight and is sensitive to different issues. I don't think she wants to run. I don't know, but I know that she, like all of us, is devastated about Trump winning and doing all the stuff he's doing.
I want to see Rosie O'Donnell come back and co-host The View.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen, but she'll get something else equally amazing. But meanwhile, Barry, the fact is, remember last time I was talking about all the rebellion, all the women's marches, all the protesting that's been happening about Trump. It did make a difference. People have noted that one of the reasons the health care plan went down is because of the women's marches all around the country. That people voiced their outrage and the politicians actually listened. They don't want to piss off their constituents that much by stripping them of health care. That was never going to happen. Trump is pathetic for even trying that.
Although he's advanced his campaign by shaking hands, because when I interviewed him, he wouldn't shake my hand. He said he's germophobic.
Well, you dodged a bullet because he's the one with the germs. But yeah, he's the only one who has rallies after he won. It's like you don't need to have rallies anymore. You already won. Just try to stay in office. But now he's going to move on from the losing healthcare plan and his losing immigration scheme to try to cut taxes for super rich people, which is another disgusting thing. And Barry, he's targeting the arts. He's going after, public broadcasting, Channel 13, National Endowment for the Arts, all these things that are so vital to our culture. He's such a bore. B-O-O-R. Also a B-O-R-E. And also a B-O-A-R. He's every kind of bore.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg and the cast of The View are really against him.
Yeah, well, there must be a right-winger on that show. There always is. But
Well,
Whoopi...
because every show they discuss ripping him apart.
Yeah,
I
Whoopi
feel
can't
like
bear it.
What's happening with The View? They can't
Well-
stand Donald Trump. They discuss him and rip him apart every day of the show, especially Joy Behar, and I take offense to it, don't you?
No, I love ripping apart Trump. It's the only right way to go. But they always have a right-winger on that show, like a Candace Cameron Bure. Isn't she on there? Kirk Cameron's sister? She's an idiot. She's an idiot. But yeah, Whoopi and I bonded over the distaste for Donald Trump the other night over dinner, and Whoopi's horrified by Trump. Joy Behar, of course, is a smart person who thinks Trump is an asshole. So thank God the smart people prevail on these talk shows.
But shouldn't they support him?
Barry, why are you defending Trump? You need to leave the house more or read something. He's horrible. Did you like Hitler? Did you like Hitler too? Oh right, you did like Hitler. I remember.
He got elected, so we should do our best to support him or try to work him into a new way of thinking, no?
That's not how democracy works. Just because he got elected doesn't mean we have to support him or rally around him. Nothing's going to change his mind. Even his own daughter can't change his mind. But all we could do is protest, and that's what makes a difference, Barry. Fortunately, we have
What happened with his daughter and us selling her fashions?
Well, they weren't selling anymore at Nordstrom, so Nordstrom's dropped it. And of course, then, Trump starts demonizing Nordstrom's. They did the right thing for a business, just like he would do. If it's not selling, you drop it. But Barry, thank God we have a system of checks and balances where the president is not a dictator. He can't just do whatever he wants. And that's why he's gotten in trouble so far with the immigration, with the healthcare. There are other aspects of the government that can say, no, we're not approving of this, so you can't go through with it. And that's our only salvation right now. So we have to keep speaking up. And I keep writing and talking about it. And so is everyone else.
So what do you think Trump is going to do in office as far as passing items?
Passing
topics?
Oh, he's going to reduce taxes for the rich. He's going to keep trying to go back to take away health care. He's going to do everything to help corporations and hurt the everyday American. If he gets what he wants, there will be half of the American population will be homeless because they won't be able to pay for a doctor's appointment.
You don't think he's going to succeed in healthcare?
No, Barry, he was shot down enormously. His own people didn't vote for it. So it was a disaster. It's a huge embarrassment.
Unbelievable.
It's kind of delicious to watch. I wish we didn't have to go through any of this at all. I wish we had Obama for a third term. But as long as Trump is failing miserably at everything he does, it is kind of fun to watch.
It's unbelievable.
And Melania is just off in some other building, some other state. Just
don't think,
doing her nails.
Get a second term?
Oh, Barry. He's not even going to get through the next 2 weeks, let alone a second term. I don't give him till May.
They won't impeach him, will they?
I think so.
And who are they going to elect instead?
What I love is that George W. Bush now is coming off all sweet and nice. There's a whole reinvention of his image, that he's a dear guy. Are we forgetting he's a war criminal who killed people for wrong reasons?
And he's a painter, too, no?
Suddenly it's like, oh, well, he's not that bad compared to Trump. No, let me remind you. If Trump is Hitler, he was Mussolini.
What about Hillary?
Hillary's a loser. I'm sorry. I mean, they played really dirty politics against her. That whole thing with the emails was ridiculous and overblown. But Hillary did not launch a good campaign to fight that. I'm sorry. She took the high road while they took the low road. Well, the low road won. And I know she won the popular vote. That doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Everyone knows you have to win the electoral vote, and she failed to do so. So I don't want her trying again. I don't want her running for mayor of New York. I think she had terrible advice.
Do you think she could be mayor of New York City?
No, I don't. I'd rather see Rosie O'Donnell.
So Rosie O'Donnell has a new lover or no?
I don't know. I don't pry.
You don't pry. But then again, if she's going to be mayor, we want to know.
Well, let's cross that bridge.
I don't know what's going on with her, other than her trying to become mayor.
That's just my idea. She's doing very well. Look.
What about movies? Have you seen any movies?
Well, the Oscars were unbelievable, Barry. Remember I came here and I predicted La La Land to win, and then it did. And then I turned off my TV. No, I didn't turn off my TV. I should have. But then it turned out Faye Dunaway had read the wrong envelope, and it was actually Moonlight that won. Did you watch that, Barry?
Yes, I did. It was really crazy. They fired the guy who was involved in it, wasn't it?
They should put him in jail. Basically, he was texting.
They fired him.
He was busy texting, and
he brought out the wrong envelope.
He gave them the wrong envelope. Yes. And Faye, Fakakta Faye. First of all, Warren looked at the envelope, didn't make sense, so he hands it to her, throws her under the bus. She saw Emma Stone La La Land, and she just said La La Land. Like, how about saying the part about Emma Stone? Or saying something's wrong here. But, Barry, I don't blame Warren and Faye, because why would you think they would give you the wrong envelope? That's never happened in history. So
did they give the wrong envelope, or they didn't?
They were given the envelope for Best Actress, which already had been given to Emma Stone for La La Land. Faye and Warren were supposed to be presenting Best Picture. So they opened the envelope. It says, Best Picture is Emma Stone for La La Land? It doesn't make sense. So Faye just said, La La Land. Everyone gets up from La La Land. The guy's thanking his wife. Thank you. I stood on your shoulders for years, reaching for the stars, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, hold on one second. Hold that thought. Never mind. You actually didn't win. It's Moonlight. Barry, it was so embarrassing.
That was like
It was the worst TV since Mariah Carey just stood there. When her music didn't work, she just walked around muttering things instead of singing. And
it happened to Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
the stars of Bonnie and Clyde reunited, and everybody was feeling good. Oh, they look great. It's great to see them again. Biggest fuck up in Oscar history. And then followed, Barry, by, I would say, the worst TV in history, which was Rachel Maddow on MSNBC promoted that she had Donald Trump's tax forms. And this was going to be a blistering revelation. Did you watch that one, Barry?
No, I didn't. Tell me about it.
Well, it turned out, first of all, the tax forms were from 2005, so they were really old. Secondly, it was just 2 pages. It was basically a tax summary. It wasn't the whole form. So we learned nothing about where his money came from or where his money went. And thirdly, it turned out he did pay taxes. Her big revelation, after all the Democrats kept saying he doesn't pay taxes, that's why he won't reveal his tax forms, he did pay 25% that year, which is not that bad considering some people take deductions and probably pay 25%. So it was the biggest non-story where Rachel Maddow really lost a lot of credibility because she's done great work against Trump up until then and probably after that too. But a lot of people were over her for that night. And then Rachel Maddow had the nerve to say, well, I guess people were expecting too much. It's like, yeah, well, you promoted it like it was major.
Wow.
It was a non-story, non-event. It actually helped Donald Trump because now he can say, I don't have to release my taxes. Rachel already did it, remember? There was no scandal revealed.
So he's not releasing his taxes, or is he?
He what?
He's not releasing his taxes then.
He never will, and now he doesn't have to. He could say, Rachel already did it, and it was fine. I paid taxes. That probably was the first, Barry, that was probably the only year he paid taxes, was 2005, and people are speculating that Donald Trump's people are the ones who leaked those papers to the guy who then went to Rachel Maddow. And it actually said on the form that she kept showing, client's copy. What does that say? That came from Trump's camp. So she fell right into his trap.
Trump?
Melania?
Melania Trump.
Melanoma?
Yes, what about her?
Well, sometimes I feel sorry for her because she looks like a trapped rat. But then other people say, well, she kind of made her bed and she has to lie in it. And that's true. She knew she was marrying a douche. Even, back when she married him in 2005, he was already a gigantic douche. So she was selling her soul, and she kind of now has gotten what she asked for. Some people say she was going to leave him before he ran for president. Now she's trapped. She's a trapped rat. And there's no sympathy for the devil. She's basically Eva Braun.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable, Barry, what's happening in this country. But it's inspiring.
She takes care of her son, a 10-year-old son, isn't she?
Yes, and that's very sweet that she takes care of him. That's very nice, and people shouldn't make fun of him. But it's very inspiring to see the reaction in this country to Donald Trump. And just, we are all bonded, not just on Facebook, but we're taking to the streets, and we're fighting back. We're not going to have him take away human rights, take away the arts, take away liberties, and take away our dignity. I sound like a Whitney Houston song.
So when do you think he'll be impeached?
2 weeks.
Are you serious?
And you can call me Miss Cleo. You can call me Gene Dixon, because I'm predicting the future.
Unbelievable.
And Madonna will become an amusement park.
What's going on with Madonna?
She's adopted 2 more African babies because she's trying to beat Angelina's record, I guess.
Wow. She's winning it. She's winning the situation over Angelina Jolie.
I think she took the babies from Mia Farrow
Unbelievable.
to get them away
Does she
from...
have a career left?
Which one?
Both of them.
Yes, they all do. They all have careers. Women, are amazing nowadays. It is the year of the woman. And women...
Well, Angelina Jolie is not doing anything since Brad Pitt.
Well, she's licking her wounds, as it were. And, it's difficult to adjust to life without Brad. They were together many, many years. Remember when Angelina was the other woman and it was considered such a sick romance? And then it lasted. It seemed to totally work.
Why did Angelina and Brad Pitt break up?
Well, some reports said Angelina was a little annoyed that Brad may be a little tipsy, let's say. Maybe he got tired of her talking about UNICEF all day. Who knows? We'll never know the real story. Don't believe any of these magazines.
Is there any truth to the rumors that he might be bisexual?
I wouldn't be surprised. And I wouldn't be surprised if she's bisexual, too. She kissed her brother, remember?
Yeah. What about Madonna?
Oh, Madonna's definitely bisexual.
She's bisexual too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And so is David Bowie.
So is who?
David Bowie, remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of bisexuals out there. They have to bisex.
But thank God Elton John is still knowing where he's going, where he's putting his...
Well,
his
he had married a woman, remember, in the 80s? That was ridiculous. He married this German woman.
He just turned 70.
But I wouldn't call him bisexual. He's gay. We love him.
But he's gay, but he just turned 70 years of age.
And he's still with the husband, the David Furnish?
And their son, right?
That's great. You know, he's a trailblazer, Elton John. He's very talented.
Did you ever meet Elton John?
I did. It was him, Versace, and Jewel, the singer. And they all said they loved the Gossip Show. This was in the 90s when I was on the Gossip Show.
Oh, God.
And they're doing a TV movie series about the Versace murder. And Penelope Cruz is playing Donatella. But I think she's too pretty, but I guess they can...
Who's playing Donatella?
Penelope Cruz,
Oh, God. Wow.
who's one of the most beautiful women. It's going to be interesting to see how she's going to play Donatella. But that's acting.
Wow. And how's, not Calvin Klein? You'll know how he is, right?
You don't hear anything from Calvin.
How's
He's
Vicky Lorenzo?
don't hear anything. Is he alive?
I think so.
That's great. They should reopen Studio 54 and all those people could go there again. Liza.
What movies do you recommend that is currently released?
Beauty and the Beast was okay. It does have a gay moment for like 1 second at the very end.
They say it does.
Yes, it does. It's literally 1 second. And everyone made a fuss. A drive-in in Alabama doesn't want to show it. Who cares? Barry, it's broken records for box office for a March opening. And who cares if some drive-in doesn't want to play it? Who cares? This will open the floodgates for all kinds of gay stuff in Disney movies. It was always there in the subtext, but now they can actually come out and do it. And it doesn't have to be as coy as in Beauty and the Beast, because it's very
It
coy.
earned $200 million the first weekend.
And it costs $150 million plus merchandising, but it's definitely going to make a big profit. So this will show people you can go there. You can do gay things in a Disney movie. And I hate when people say, it's a family movie. So what? There are gay families.
That's true. Have you seen Strictly Confidential yet? The gay play.
Sexuality shouldn't be in a game. What do you mean sexuality? Heterosexuality is sexuality. Kids can handle it.
Have you seen Strictly Confidential, the gay play with Barbara Barry?
Oh, it's called Significant Other.
It was good.
Close, Barry. Strictly Confidential. Yes, it was very good. It was very good. It's about a gay guy who can't get a date, so it's obviously based on me or you. And it was funny, and yet it was poignant at the same time.
Wait a minute. Did you say Strictly Confidential closed? It didn't.
Oh, my God. Barry, are you calling from Shady Pines?
I think so.
It's called Significant Other, and it has not closed.
Oh, Significant Other, right.
But it's doing 19% business, so they're hanging in there. Yeah, I saw it.
Did you like it?
I thought it was funny and poignant.
Good. They discontinued Wednesday matinees because no one was coming.
Yeah, but now they added Sunday evenings. Got it?
Yes.
You know, the matinee ladies aren't that hip. They don't go to a hip show like that. But the Sunday evening people will go. And the word of mouth, I think the word of mouth is good. It's an audience show.
The lover of the main star was gorgeous.
Yes. And you know what? Charles Isherwood reviewed it off Broadway. Then Charles Isherwood was fired from the New York
And
Times.
what did he say? He loved it, right?
He loved it off Broadway, but then he was fired. And then Ben Brantley reviewed it when it moved to Broadway, and he liked a lot about it, but didn't rave about.
Wait a minute. You just told me that Christopher Isherwood was fired for the New York Times?
Yes, he was the second string critic. And
So
then
why'd they fire him?
they fired him for ethical reasons, but they haven't been clear about what those are, but we'll find out maybe. And he's fighting back. But in any case, they have hired Jesse Green from New York Magazine to replace him. and they named Jesse Green the co-chief theater critic with Ben Brantley. So the two of them are equal theater critics, starting on May 1st.
Wow. What other good gossip do you got for us?
Well, that's the best gossip, isn't it? And,
Yeah,
I mean,
you got to give me more.
they're all friends of mine. But now there's an opening at New York Magazine because Jesse Green left. So if anybody wants to be theater critic of New York Magazine, go and apply.
Why can't you be the new critic?
I do theater reviews in my Out.com column, which is MUSTO the Musical, but I like to cover the breadth of entertainment. I like to cover nightlife and movies and everything. So I don't want to just be a theater critic. So I
And
don't.
where can we see you and read you these days?
Out.com every week, MUSTO the Musical. And if you look at Out.com, on the top there's a ledger and it says Michael Musto. Click on that, you get all my columns. Also, papermag.com, that's the paper magazine website. I have a weekly blog. I've written pieces for the New York Times Style section. I recently wrote one about Broadway nights at gay bars, because on Monday nights, which is when Broadway shows are usually off, 3 or 4 gay bars have Broadway nights where they have drag queens doing numbers, they interview Broadway stars. So it's like therapy, industry, and hardware bar, all in Hell's Kitchen.
Wow, is the drag scene dead?
No, the drag scene is bigger than ever, Barry. And drag queens not only have to lip sync now, they have to sing live. Because Drag Race has raised the bar for drag queens. Also, there are a lot of Broadway actors who sometimes are not getting a job, so they put on a dress and they work in a bar. So there's so many great drag queens, Barry. And there's good New York girls on Drag Race this year. Peppermint, Alexis Michelle. There were some really terrific people.
Do you think that the RuPaul show had anything to do with reviving the drag scene?
I do. It's made drag internationally popular. It's brought it to a whole new level, and it's up the bar for drag queens. They have to be super talented and super professional. Can't be these beaten down drag queens from the past.
So drag, you're saying that drag is more popular than it ever was. And what's going on with the RuPaul show? It's off logo, it's on VH1. Why they make the change?
We already covered that, Barry.
You didn't tell me why. Why they make the change?
To reach an even larger audience. Remember, Barry?
Okay, so what's going to happen to Logo? They're getting rid of all the drag, they're moving to VH1, and they're putting on reruns of Roseanne.
No. Logo has always had sitcom reruns, but it has Cocktails and Classics. It has the Fire Island Show. It has the Lance Bass Show, Finding Prince Charming. So there's still plenty to watch. And it's all the same company, Barry. MTV, VH1, and Logo are all Viacom. It's all the same family, and we're all doing great.
But they're rerunning all these old TV shows, Logo. I don't understand why.
Every channel reruns shows. Logo has always been a place to go for a lot of sitcoms, but it also has original programming, Cocktails and Classics, Finding Prince Charming. Yeah.
Why do you think the Roseanne show is so popular even nowadays?
Well, the LGBT angle, first of all, Sandra Bernhard is on it. Sarah Gilbert, is that her name? She's on it. She's an out lesbian now. And Roseanne is a domestic goddess. She really is an icon for the everyday person who finds glitter and glamour in their everyday plight. She's inspiring.
It's on TV Land, it's on Logo, it's on this one and that one. It's all over the place, Roseanne.
It's great. It's a classic. John Goodman is fantastic as well. Estelle Parsons. But I mean, to me, the ultimate is Golden Girls, which is on, I think, 4 different channels. It's on Logo, Hallmark.
Right.
The Golden Girls is so amazing. I could watch it over and over and over again. I know every syllable of every episode.
And all of them are deceased except for
Betty White. Betty White.
Betty White is still available, right?
And still working. And she's the one they hated. She's the one they all hated.
And how old is she now?
She's in her 90s. And she's amazing.
That's,
Like, I picture my mother at 93. Would my mother have had 2 sitcoms at the same time? No, that wouldn't have happened. Betty White is amazing.
and she's still working. It's amazing. What about that show on TV Land, that new show that she had?
Well, that's not on anymore.
Oh.
But Betty White...
TVN is adding new shows to its roster.
Yes, and Betty White will get new shows. She's out there pitching.
She's out there because of what?
She's out there always pitching. She will get a new show. She's remarkable.
She's unbelievable. She's 95?
Let's just say 99. I don't know. But basically, Rue McClanahan said that B. Arthur called Betty White a cunt. That's in.
You're kidding.
It's in.
Repeat that again.
Why?
Because I got to hear this again.
Oh, this time you might listen. Rue McClanahan said that B. Arthur said, this is like playing telephone here, that Betty White was a cunt.
Why?
She didn't care for her. But B. Arthur was not the warmest tool in the shed, let's face it.
Wow. That's amazing.
It wasn't all peaches and cream on the set of Golden Girls. There were a lot of hostilities. I think B. Arthur thought it would be like Maude, where she was the only star. You know what I'm saying? And suddenly Rue McClanahan is equal to her. B. Arthur is equal to her. I mean, Betty White was equal.
What about the old lady on this show?
Well, she was one of the younger ones on the show, Estelle Getty, but they made her up to look old. They didn't even make her up that much. They just threw a wig on her with some powder.
Oh my God, she was one of the younger ones.
She was so great. She was so great. But she really was suffering from Alzheimer's towards the end of her life. And it was very sad to see her go that way.
What did she go of?
Well, I believe she had Alzheimer's like you.
Not yet. But anyway, what happened to the revival of Golden Girls when they did it in North Broadway?
Well, they probably got into legal trouble, is my guess, because the producers of the original Golden Girls are very strict about letting other people recreate their magic. But I'm not sure about that. But I know that Rue McClanahan's estate is opening a Golden Girl cafe in New York, in Manhattan. And I think they had a preview. I wasn't invited, so.
It's only for old people.
But I guess, yeah, they'll serve a lot of cheesecake. I'm sure they'll serve a lot of cheesecake.
Unbelievable. Where is it going to be?
It's way uptown, which I love. I love going uptown. I love going to Harlem, and I'll gladly ride my bike to go up there and get some soul food and check out the Golden Girl Cafe.
Wow. You're invited as my guest.
But you're not invited, so that doesn't help me. I'm here for. I'm Barry. I'm Barry Z's plus one.
We got to have more than a monthly segment of MUSTO on the show.
I was thinking less than monthly.
No, come on. People die for your gossip, literally.
Well, we don't want to kill people.
Well, you have great gossip.
Thank you, Barry.
How do you get your gossip, by the way?
Just make it up. No, I'm out there. I'm very involved in what's going on. I have great sources. I experience things firsthand, and I've got my finger in every pot. I'm involved in theater, music, movies, nightlife, and everything that makes New York and our culture tick.
Don't you need an assistant or a lover to help you with this?
I would actually like a combination of those two things. I would like a lover who simply exists to help me do my menial tasks, to take my laundry to the laundromat, do my dry cleaning, get me some paper
Is there
clips.
any other person other than me who would do this?
No, so you're going to have to be the one.
Okay, thank you. I'm hired.
My mother would die if I married a Jew.
What's the salary?
Oh, you get an occasional drink ticket and
Okay.
whatever's left in my gift bag after I take out the good stuff.
So who else do you see coming up in the ranks these days?
Well, I'm bad at predicting. I said Madonna was going nowhere.
No, tell us who.
Hmm?
Tell us who is on the verge of coming up these days, coming up in statue.
Well, the hot promoter on the scene is Lady Fag. And she has 3 parties a week, all gay parties. Do you know Lady Fag?
No, she's new.
Oh, she's been around, but she's from Canada, and she's sort of the new Suzanne Barst.
Wow.
And she has parties Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. One of them is in Brooklyn, the one on Saturday. And she gets
Did you get any of her Brooklyn events?
she gets a good, really good gay crowd, and they like to dance. It's like the old days.
Oh, wow.
So she's the happening
What about
person.
What about that show that's focused on black entertainment or black topics? I
The one
Blackish.
Blackish. Well, we love that because you know who's on it. Diana Ross's daughter, Tracy Ellis Ross.
What happened to the rest of her daughters?
Well, Chudney is misspelled, and the other one was Rhonda. She's a singer.
Do you see them perform anywhere?
I've seen tapes of Rhonda. She's very good. Tracy's fantastic. I love Chutney. I love anything to do with Diana Ross.
Why does Diana Ross only marry white husbands?
It's not true. She was married to Berry Gordy.
Whatever happened with that?
Well, they broke up, but didn't you see Dreamgirls? But basically, Rhonda is her daughter with Berry Gordy, and I think Chutney. And then Tracy Ellis Ross was the daughter of the white guy. And then there was another white guy, I remember the Swedish guy, who died in a skiing accident.
Oh, that's right.
But I think people just marry people, Barry. They don't see race. I mean, I hate when people say, "Oh, she's marrying a white guy. She wants to be white." It's like, what? Aren't we fighting
What's
for?
happening with Diana Ross?
Aren't we fighting for equality? And people can fall in love with whoever they want.
Yeah, but I haven't heard her perform anymore, Diana.
She still tours. She's constantly touring.
Wow, this is great. This is great. We always love a Diana Ross showing up here and there.
Barry, it has been so delightful snuggling up with you, even though you're not actually in the room. I feel your presence. I've had a wonderful hour gossiping and kvetching and kvelling with you, darling. I love you.
And I love you too, Michael. You're the best. Thank you for sharing an hour with me.
Anytime.
Witches laid a curse on my friend. Well, now the plot thickens. The plot thickens. Witches gotta fight zombies. 'Cause we like blood. Young blood. Damn vamps don't got any.
Dance and witches in 1 minute. Forget your less and fight the devil.
Shut the fuck up, whore!
That shit's so.
Well, looky here. Is that Betty White or Doris Day? I mean Doris Day today. I'm like Andy Kaufman. I love beating bitches' asses. Body slam time.
You're gonna be foaming at the ass for messing with me.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Boner in the ass. Fuck her up.
It's a good day to die!
Save the critique for after the film, Hedda.
Of course, darling. Ahead of myself.
Now you die! Let's see a war!